Hey, Miko here. I made this recording a bit ago, or some of it a bit ago, and then it all kind of got delayed as I was trying to get the title on multiple characters. But this is for anyone who's still working on it and struggling, or if you haven't even started yet, you have time, and these are the mechanics, and knowing them will help you knock this out. So first of all, I've got two different outfits throughout this. This one is the casual outfit where I'm not pushing mechanics to the limit. I'm still doing them all correctly, but it's an easier, take it easy route. And then the other one is where I really try and push things as hard as I can. Try hard outfit. Also, you can see on the screen that I have a UI set up just for Blunderville. So it helps if you've been struggling. It kind of helps to get all the noise off your screen. Setting up a UI just for Blunderville is useful. Hide all the rest of your bars. I also hid the chat box. The ones that you see in here with where there is a chat box are from when I was doing it live and still trying to get my title on Miko. So you'll notice that a little bit. But most of them will have this, where it's my Blunderville UI and no chat box. So let's get started. This is one of the first levels. It helps to target yourself if there's a lot of people. So F1 on a keyboard will tell you where you are in that whole gaggle of folks in case they're standing on top of you. When you get this arrow, the whole objective here is just to have the arrow face ahead on the platform by the time the timer expires. You can see I made my timers larger up at the top. Then these spinning things obviously will knock you off if you run into them. So you just don't. And you can be patient here. Just wait for them to stop spinning. Same with that part you saw. I just waited until the little side-to-side things had moved, and then you have time to get through without it stunning you and sliding you to the side. This is just, it's going to spin you, and you get to control which direction you're spinning. You see a lot of folks who don't know this one try and go straight through, and those little balls will knock you off the platform. So just try and angle side to side to avoid them. You can see their pattern with the little squares. And we'll have this one again. You can watch it. This part, it's slippery slope. It's just going to shoot you backwards if you stop moving forwards or to the side. And just zigzag your way up. I will talk more about that one in this next video. Hard to cover everything in such a quick game. So, again, I didn't target myself on these. By this point, I knew where I was and didn't need that feature, but it helps if you're newer. So that was the side turn one. So you notice it pointed me to the right, so I turned 90 degrees to the left to get through that without it sending me off the side of the platform. Alright, and then you sneak through without getting stunned. Here's those squares that I was talking about. You can see where it's going to end the swing. And so as long as you are, your character model is outside of those squares, you're going to be fine. So give yourself leeway. You don't have to come in first. You can just spin around these. And then, okay, so aim for a gap. But what I tried to do was aim for a gap so that I could maneuver to where the side sliders have already been and are not going to be anytime soon. That will get you to the top the quickest and safest. You might want to rewatch that one a couple of times just to make sure you understand that route, but I did it in both videos. Okay, so these axes, if you aim yourself at the spot where they are not when they start, that one, they were off to the left at the start. If you aim for the gap on the right, you will always be able to just run all the way through without stopping. That's the goal here. And then this, you can start aiming at the first one and where it is, and it won't stun you. And then you just have to do the one turn at the end. This part, so I'll talk about that last part in the next video, but this part I struggled with a lot when I first started. and sometimes still do if I'm tired or whatever. But the swinging logs and the rotating hand, you just have to make sure that the hand's pointing forwards. Be patient with it. You've got time. It's worse to fall in a hole and have to start back from the beginning. And I'll talk more about that in a second. These move so fast. We'll cover just a bit. Okay, so you see the gap on the right-hand side. There's no axe there. So that's where I aim to start running through, because I can just keep going the entire way. And then these, you go where it's not, and then you keep going. But then this one, you aim where it already is, because when you slide through it, it won't stun you the very first time. And you just have to angle away from the last one to avoid getting knocked up in the air. Okay, so the swinging axes, if you run down the middle, they won't... If they hit you, if you time it wrong and they hit you, they won't knock you off the platform. At worst, they'll just knock you to the very edge. So the middle is safe. So this spot, if you are in the middle section here before it curves up on the right or the left, even if the little log hits you, it's not going to knock you off. So if you're running through and you're not going to make it before the log swings, just make sure you're in the middle and not near a hole, because it won't knock you off. And then these platforms just disappear. They're pretty straightforward. You just have to jump. When you see the new one appear, jump away from it. Or jump onto it, I mean. Okay. So I always angle off on the side where no one else is, because then you can see which little bauble you pick up first. Which of the crystals, it says. And then this was my patient run, so I just waited for everything. You want the axe to be in the middle, ideally, when you're running through, because you can run through it. But if it catches you, as it swings, then it's going to knock you off. Again, patience here. The breath was about to go out, so I just found a little blue section that I could tuck myself into. I'm just waiting to make sure that it's gone down. It will always be safest right when it's landed, to be flat for those little punchy bits. Okay, so the punchy bit landed, we ran through. I could have, if I was pushing it, could have run through there. And to that second, you saw how the second little side-to-side swiper had gone through. You can just wait there then for the punchy bits to go down and be flat. I didn't, because I was taking it easy. So that I go off to the side, like I said, and get that crystal, make sure I know which one it is. So we pushed it, we tucked into the side there to catch the net, and then waited on the punchy bit to the end. So again, just waiting here on the side-to-side swipers to go, and then for there to be a flat one. Take it safe. Okay, so blue. I'm going to push it on this one. I only care about that side-to-side guy once these ones have moved. So, I don't know, that was pretty fast. Did you notice that the side-to-side goes right after one of the blue things moves? We've got another chance to watch it here. Okay, so I didn't do perfectly on this one, but I left it in because it's a good example of several things. First of all, I ran into the pile. Don't know my color, run to the wrong side. So don't do that. Go to the edge. Here, I'm going to do that skip thing that I talked about with the two side swipers, where I just skipped the first one because the second one had just gone. So you can do that if you see the first or the second one go, like right as you get to it, then you can do that. Here, I'm running in right as it blows, so I can go all the way through this as long as I read it correctly, and then catch the net at the back, like I talked about, and then you don't get sent and lose all your progress. You can just finish it one go. Alright, I got really greedy on this blue one and got knocked a couple times. Here's where I would have normally left this out, because I did poorly. This is when I was still, working on my title. But it's a good example of this side swiper, so see if you can watch that. As soon as one of these sends down, then the side swiper goes. So the middle column and the side swiper are all we care about. Those far right and far left ones, we don't care. But when one is sending to the start, then that side swiper is going to go. So you need to watch for it. Alright. This is pretty straightforward. You're just running and avoiding. One thing to know, I taught someone who didn't know this, and I thought it made sense, but I guess not everyone notices. So these little spinny bits, they always go counterclockwise, obviously. But the way to know, because they always go counterclockwise, the way to know which side is going to swipe is if it's pointed away from you, it's going to be to the left. It's always going to swipe to the left if the stick is pointed away from you. Here, it's going to go to the right. You see, stick is pointing towards you, it's going to go to the right. So that's the most important, probably, thing to know about this. And then you can just take it easy on this middle beam. You don't have to go to the right one. I know a lot of people do at this point because it'll be quicker. And it means you're not at the back of the pack and you won't get blown off by the wind guy. But before others get eliminated. But you can just take it easy. You can dodge out of these things. If you see the line shows up on top of you, you saw me do that just a second ago, just dodge. You have time to move out of these things when they light up. They're giving you time. But if you go down the right side, you get to skip the first two mechanics, at least. I always, if this one's going to go, some people will push straight through. Don't be greedy. Why be greedy? There's no reason. There's a chance that you're just going to get knocked off the platform. Just wait. This is my push-it run, and I waited. And I'm going to skip a whole bunch of mechanics because I'm at the front of the pack. So things that happen for the back of the pack haven't happened for the front yet, because people are still on the platform. We get pretty far in here, though. You'll get to see that it gets even more complicated, and they add more of these duders, but just wait, you know, it's like this one. Just wait. You can move out if you're standing in something. Stand in the bad. That was risky. Don't do that. What not to do. Don't go when a side swiper is about to side swipe. Got lucky there. We're gonna watch one more. I think this is the one that doesn't have sound. Yeah. So I started this recording way late. This is also on Mary, not Miko. But it's only two of us, and I was like, oh, there's a chance that this goes all the way to the end, and you get to see every mechanic that's possible, and it's true. This one is a full, both of us qualify, ran out of time recording, so it gets chaotic. But the initial events are all the same. The side swipers, the spinners. Spinners still spin the same way. If it's away from you, it's going to go left. If it's towards you, it's going to go right. Which means you want to be on the opposite side of it, in case that wasn't obvious. But these side swipers start to get really chaotic. Just wait for them. Wait for good opportunities. When it has just swiped, it's not going to go again right away. More important to stay out of things than push it, rush it. You see this person's ahead of me. Does not matter. I can still see the blowy bit, so that tells me I'm safe. As long as you're keeping ahead of that. But here's where the real chaos is. We've got like 30 seconds left, and there's just so many of these things everywhere. But if you're just paying attention to where they are and where the little lines appear, because you won't know, they start to move chaotically towards the end. Now there's even more stuff. 3 on this section. Yeah. So they'll like go at angles and whatever, and you won't get to know where they're going to go, but that's fine because they're going to tell you, and you just adjust. This level is really just about adjusting and not missing your jumps. Okay, back to sound. Final level. I've got a few recordings of this. It's just a lot to process. But first thing to know, I always go right. Doesn't matter what side I start on. It gives you time to anticipate these bouncing balls, these orange things that are coming in from the left. So if you go right, you've got more time to watch them and adjust where you're going. Those are probably the part that wreck people the most. The hammers are pretty standard. They go right, they go left, they go right, they go left. You just want to be on the opposite side. The biggest thing with this one is reading ahead. So don't watch where you are. You already know what's going to happen where you are because you've been reading ahead. So you care about what's next. It's like chess. And even if you're not good at chess, I promise you can do this. So we got our second run. We've got the spinners. They're not going to touch you as long as you didn't get a late start. So you can feel free to go right, like I said. This is my it can clip you run, and you'll be fine as long as you are going into it where it is and not where it's about to be, if that makes sense. You might understand that as we keep going. But I was in the pink, I was in the little orange ball section, and they didn't hurt me because they were there, you know, already and not about to be there. We've got 4 more of these to watch, so you've got time. Again, I put in a lot of these because it's a lot of reading ahead, and it can be hard to understand. The biggest thing that helped me was knowing that the balls go from the left side over to the right side. Those little orange balls are going to move always from the left to the right. You watch it happening right here. And so as long as you anticipate that and where they're about to land and stay away from there, or run in after they've already, you know, left the existing one and are about to land in the next one, then you'll be fine. It's just about being where they're not about to be. They can be there, they can't be about to be there. 3 more. Okay. So we're not going to worry about the spinner. We got a normal start. We're going to watch these balls move. So it was on the left. We know that it has to go all the way back over to the left. So we're just going to stay on the left. That left spinner just went. That's the other part of this that's going to trip you up, is the spinners in that middle section. You always want to go to the one that has already spun. This is dangerous. I almost got clipped by doing it that way, but again, if you know the timing, and that was my win, my title win, then you can get it no issue. So for this one, we're going to watch another Lala win, FFXIV, Fanta, I think is the last name, or Balmung. My screen, it's really small, can't see right now. But this person did really well at the mechanics, and I had already gotten my win, so you can see I'm in my push it past. They're avoiding these things, so the ball's coming from the left, the little spinners, they ran through correctly, all this pink stuff happening. It gets really busy, and they're watching it and avoiding those mechanics properly. This could be you. Watch this little Lala. Here we go, and FFXIV wins. Round over. I'm eliminated. Thankfully. There we go. Congratulations, FFXIV. It is Fanto. I think that's what I said. Anyway. It was a good run. A great example. And FFXIV's was a little bit slower than mine, so I left it in here as an example of, you know, what it can be, even if you go slow. Okay, so this is that last run. It gets cut out halfway through. You'll see why. But at least we get the first half. Go through the spinner. The ball has landed all the way on the right side, so we're going to take the right path because it'll take a while for it to get back over there. But even though it landed on the right here, the right spinner hadn't gone off, so we took the center spinner. That's the part that's going to mess people up. Now here's where I lost internet. So I just ran to the end, praying that it would come back before someone else won. And instead, this is what it does. Fun times! Thank you for watching the videos. Hopefully they helped you. Yeah, if you have any questions, just in the Ankle Biters Discord, feel free to send me a message, a DM, or in the Final Fantasy channel, and I will help you with whatever mechanic if you're still aiming to get this done, even if you're not going for a title. I'm happy to help. Hope you had fun. Thank you.